Welcome to SIBM Bengaluru. Continuing with our PI experience series, we have today with us Sanjana Singh from batch of 23. She is going to be sharing her GEPI process experience with us. We request the aspirants to make a note of all the important tips. Welcome, Sanjana. It's great to have you here. Tell us something about your educational background and where are you from?
Thank you, Shantanu, and thank you, team, for having me. Hello, everyone. This is Sanjana Singh, and I am from the batch of 23 of SIBMB. I am essentially from Hyderabad, where I did my schooling and then went on to do my undergraduate degree in BBA. Post which, I worked with Accenture for about 26 months as an analytics associate for one of the client of Accenture, Facebook.
Okay, Sanjana, let's start with the VAT process. So please tell us, how was your overall experience? Did you face any difficulties while booking the slot or any other issue which you might have faced?
Sure. So there was no issue per se when I was booking my VAT slot. It was in fact very easy. The link for my slot booking was shared to me via my email. After which there were about a couple of instructions that were to be followed, which were easy enough to understand and comprehend. Then I went on to book my VAT slot, which I had booked actually 2 days prior to my GP.
Great, Sanjana. Happy to hear that your entire process was hassle-free. So you both might agree with me that the biggest issue which we all faced as aspirants during the VAT process was the time constraint. So Sanjana, can you throw some light on how did you manage your time during the VAT process?
Sure. So one of the main reasons why people test you on a time constraint is because they want to test your creativity and also how you handle or break under pressure. So to begin with, it is essential that you read and understand your topic properly. Then you jot down your important points and break them into paragraphs. Be brief and make sure you touch the essential parts of the topic and ensure that you do not drift away from the topic or the heading way too much.
All right, that's great, Sanjana. It seems like you had your VAT all figured out. Let's move to the D-Day now. So how was your GEPI process experience and can you just walk us through your day?
Sure. So I had an afternoon slot, which was around 1 p.m. when I logged in. As soon as I logged in, I was warmly greeted by one of the student coordinators who spoke to us about how the entire day is spanned out, how the GE and the PI process are planned for us. And there was also WhatsApp groups simultaneously which were working, where we received a lot of information about how, again, our slots are going to be and the order in which my GE and my PI was.
Okay, great. So talking a bit more about the group exercise, how did it go for you? Were you satisfied with your performance?
Actually, yes, I was satisfied with my performance. So I was assuming that there's going to be a lot of chaos, students speaking on top of each other, trying to put forth their points. But that was not the case. Each participant or each of the peers that I was competing with were given time to put forth his or her views. So how this helped was for me to understand each and everybody's point of view, to gain insights on what stands people had on several different topics. So this was a very enriching session for me as well.
Right. So let's move to one of the sections or segments that most of the aspirants are worried about, the personal interaction round. So how was your experience during the personal interaction round?
Right. So needless to say, the personal interview, when I was actually going into the personal interview, I was very, very nervous, which was very evident on my face. So the interviewers actually calmed me down. They asked me to have a glass of water so that I can calm myself and actually perform to my fullest potential when I am answering their questions to the point. So most of my personal interview were revolved around questions based on my undergraduate subjects in BBA. Then went on to discuss more about how my work experience was, the intricacies of how analytics works. Then also a couple of questions on the budget, which was recently announced last year. And then also a little about my hobbies and interests and what I usually do during my leisure time.
Great. So as you said, even I had the same issue that even I was really nervous before my interview, but good that you gathered it all together before you started with the interview and it went on smoothly after that. So would you like to give some tips to our aspirants as to what they should do before the personal interview or during the personal interview?
Right. So before you get into a personal interview, it is very important that you are well versed with all the points that you mention in your CV, which is actually the first point of contact the interviewers have about you. So in my case, I was well versed with all of my undergraduate subjects, my specialization that I had taken up in my third year. Then details about my work, about the intricacies, about the workaround, and about if I can explain my actual day in the work experience. And it's also important that you keep yourself updated by reading newspapers regularly, watch news, or follow any YouTube channels which can give you important updates. And even before you actually appear for your D-Day, it is important that you have a mock personal interview, perhaps with some of your friends or family who can give you constructive feedback so that you know that what are the places that you're lacking, where you can better yourself so that you perform your fullest on your D-Day in your personal interview.
Great, Sanjana. Seems like you did pretty amazing in your personal interview. So one last question. Since it was first time ever that GEPIWAT was happening online, so how did you adapt to the online mode for the GEPIWAT? Did you have any thoughts like what problems you might face, or how did you prepare for it?
Right. So I again was informed via email that the entire GEPI process was going to be conducted on the Zoom platform. So I familiarized myself with Zoom by reading through the instructions, going through YouTube videos. But at the same time, the student coordinator on the D-Day actually also helped us to understand how Zoom works, how you can get in and out of breakout rooms, and the like. Apart from that, it is also important that I or any person or aspirant who's attending the GEPI process ensures that they have very good Wi-Fi connection and a secondary or a backup connection, probably a mobile hotspot or the like. And if everything goes wrong, you always have your WhatsApp groups where you're connected with the student coordinator who can help you if you have suddenly dropped out of your call during your GE or the PI process.
All right. Thank you so much, Sanjana, for taking out time and sharing your valuable advice. I'm sure the aspirants have a lot to learn from you.
Thank you so much, Shantanu. This was a very good experience. And I would also wish the best of luck to all the aspirants who are applying for SIBMB.
Thank you, Sanjana. So we request all the aspirants to comment down any queries they might have, and we will try to resolve it. So we wish you all the very best for the upcoming GEPIWAT process. Good luck.